Today on The Travel Insider, we'll talk about the conflict between Spanish locals and tourism, since they believe it's one of the country's biggest problems. In other news, Florida's biggest tourism boards cut ties with Visit Florida. What does this mean for the advertising campaign? Finally, we'll discuss the perks of slow tourism, because in a world where everybody seems to be in a hurry, sometimes you just have to stop and enjoy. Let's go to the information. Spain is one of the most popular destinations in the world, but its cities are having an increasingly acrimonious debate about the effects of the travel industry on their quality of life. This war shows how Spain's most successful industry is being increasingly questioned by a sector of society who sees little benefit from mass tourism. Spain opened its door to foreign visitors in the late 1950s, and since then, the industry has been perfecting a system that has proven to be so successful that other countries now seek to emulate it. But to some, this model is inefficient, as it requires an enormous volume of demand, which in itself has triggered costs that are externalized socially and environmentally. Another problem is that tourists are not spread evenly across the country, and in some places the pressure from it is such that many local workers have trouble finding affordable housing, and the model also encourages a labour market where jobs are low wage and seasonal. According to a survey made by Barcelona City Hall, 19% of the respondents think that tourism is Barcelona's biggest problem. But the Spanish Employers Association issued a recent reminder that the economic recovery in Spain is still far from consolidated, and that Spaniards should not be too harsh in their reaction to a vital sector of their economy. The Spanish government is concerned that if clashes between Spaniards and tourists continues, Spain will lose its top 10 position as one of the world's leading international tourism destinations. In other news, Florida's vaunted tourism marketing program is in disarray, weeks after Governor Rick Scott brokered a backroom compromise with House Speaker Richard Corcoran to salvage tourism money for one more year. Visit Florida, which relies on tax dollars to promote the state to visitors worldwide, kept its $76 million budget for another year, but it came at a very steep price. Concerned about possible liability under a sweeping new disclosure law, a dozen county tourism groups, including Visit Tampa Bay and the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, have broken off co-op advertising partnerships with Visit Florida. Visit Tampa Bay interprets a new law to require local tourism board members who serve without pay, but who have also full-time jobs in the private sector, to disclose their income. The new law requires disclosure of employee and board member salary and benefit details from public and private funds, and the breaking of those marketing partnerships means an end, for now at least, to advertising that promotes local destinations, especially in overseas markets. At the same time, Visit Florida board member Bill Lupfer resigned from the group. Lupfer, who is also president of the Florida Attractions Association, tendered his resignation letter in which he noted that the Visit Florida board is leading their industry through uncharted waters, and he'll continue to support them as they direct their state's destination marketing organization. And finally, nowadays when people go to visit another country, they only have a few days to see it all, so the tendency is to run around trying to know everything that's worth knowing about the destination. This has its disadvantages, because even though it makes it possible for tourists to see a lot of things, it doesn't allow them to appreciate them. That's why some countries such as Italy are trying to promote slow tourism. An example of where you'll find this is in Florence, which wants to discourage the more superficial of its 2 million annual visitors by changing how people visit Italy's greatest art collection. And to do so, they'll change the ticket prices to reward repeat visits and punish people who just go for a selfie with the sculptures, discouraging hit-and-run tourism. The measures could be applied far beyond this city, as also the Louvre and the British Museum, including all the museums that we have in Mexico, among many others, are filled with zombie tourism that are always in a hurry and don't take time to really appreciate the beauty. Slow tourism starts if we simply step away from the crowd, let it pass by and look a little longer. We have to slow down, give the art a bit of time to work its magic. Art should be a love affair, not a guided tour. And this should be applied not just to art, but also to everything that surrounds us. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media and leave a comment to let us know what you think.